take it away.
Are we ready? Okay. First of all, thank you everyone who's on this Zoom tonight. We are recording the Meet the Candidates, and so if there are people who want to see it, we have that available. Again, for the new people, you're getting quite the education tonight. We have a board of 9 people, and every year, 3 members of the board end their 3-year term. And they can choose to run again, or they can choose to step off the board. This year, the 3 current members whose terms are up have chosen not to run again, and they are Lisa Spielman, Claudia Stephanie, and Kathy Simpson. Now, we're going to spend more time later to lavish praise on them because they have been incredible members, not only on the board, but off the board, backstage, on stage. Amazing members. But there comes a time for change, so here we are. So as I said, the nominating committee has been getting names and talking to people, and 5 wonderful candidates have come forward, and they will be running for those 3 positions. But also, as I said, there's one person who is going to be running for the member at large position on our place selection committee. And that's a person who is elected to a 2-year term. Right now, the only other person on our place selection committee is Janet Fenton, and she is finishing her last year. So those it sort of overlaps. So there's always someone who's a member at large on our place selection committee. What we've done for the board candidates is we've developed 3 questions, and we gave each board candidate the choice of answering any 2 of them. But before we get into that, because Jane Seebach is running unopposed for the membership at large for place election, I thought it would be nice to introduce her, and she can speak about herself, her interest, maybe her favorite experience at Elmwood. And then if you have a question just for Jane, you can write question for Jane in the chat. So Jane, I know you're here. You can unmute and take it away.
Hi, how are you? It's good to see so many people here. Thanks for letting me do this. If you read my bio, you know that I've been interested in theater my whole life. I grew up in a small town, a block away from the State Theater of Virginia. So I've been going to theater since I was like 7 years old. And this is why I've been involved in theater as much as I possibly could in times when it was available to me. So probably the longest time that I was not involved in theater was after my husband died. I moved to Rockland County, and I was commuting back and forth to Manhattan, and there's no time to do it. But just recently, a couple years ago, some friends of mine had subscriptions to Elmwood, and I decided to do that. And when I got on the website, I was like, wow, I can become a member and get involved. So ever since then, I've been trying to figure out the best way to get involved. I started out doing hospitality, and then I joined the Young Frankenstein crew doing being a dresser, which I enjoyed, and I really enjoy the playground. That's been an excellent experience for me. Also, I was able to do the reading with Derek, I guess last month, and I'm just loving my time here. And so trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Every time I heard people talk about the place selection committee, I was thinking to myself that would be good for me because I'm very literary. I read a lot. I read a lot of books and plays. And I particularly started reading a lot of plays since I'm doing the Playhouse, because I'm trying to think of things to bring in with me. And I found a couple of interesting things lately. I've been looking at plays that involve older people because, that's who I am. Came across a couple of very funny comedies, one called Sex Please for 60 and another called Four Old Broads, which I might bring into the committee and see what they think of. But I was asked, what type of plays I might be interested in bringing to the committee. I like a variety of things. I like drama. I like comedy. Um, some of the dramas that I saw in my youth, I really liked were the kinds that really got you on the edge of your seat. And a couple of those that come to mind are Wait Until Dark and Sleuth. That really get you. They really get you into it. I like a lot of older plays. I was a member. I subscribed to Roundabout for about 20 years, so I got to see a lot of revivals there. And on the comedy side, I'm a big fan of Neil Simon. His plays are always funny. I just recently read Prisoner of Second Avenue, and I was laughing hysterically all the way reading it. So I can imagine what it's like on stage. Other like dramas. Well, no, wait. Let me step back. I saw a play at the Roundabout, which was an older, very very classic play called Tartuffe. It's hysterical. It's by Moliere, I believe. And I'm like, hey, why not? Why don't we do this at the Roundabout? Some of my favorite playwrights for drama, Tennessee Williams, Arthur Miller, and I was so happy to see that we're doing an Arthur Miller in the fall, and that I get to work on that. I read the documentation on the website for the play committee, and I know they mentioned diversity. So of course I'm thinking August Williams. I recently saw a play made for TV by him, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was fantastic. Let's see, musicals. Well, I could stand here and list musicals all day. I mean, there's old ones, there's new ones. I think I'm just going to have fun with the committee throwing out the names of musicals and see what we come up with. I'm happy that the Roundabout has done some, I guess, what I would consider newer musicals, because I had not had a chance to see them on Broadway myself. So I think that's good for Elmwood. Some of the classics are going to bring people in. Some of the plays that I've been in were like Oliver, which is a lot of fun. It has a lot of kids in it, which can be challenging, but I think that's great for bringing people in as well. And I think that's all I have to say.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Jane. And
Sure.
thanks for helping out Alan tonight too.
Yeah. No, very
Great.
good.
Okay. So the 5 candidates who are here with us tonight, they're scattered all over your screen. Kathleen Mahan, just wave, I guess, when I call your name so people can see you. Kathleen D'Addezio, Elaine D'Addezio. There you are. Ellen Blakely. I know you're under the name Evelyn Russo, but we know you're a guest over there. Stavros Adamides. Yeah, there you go. And Dylan Coonrad. And so their bios and their statements have been on the Elmwood website. If you haven't seen them, please go read them. So we've asked each candidate to introduce themselves and briefly share one of their favorite experiences that they've had at Elmwood. Then after that, as I said, we have given them 3 questions, and I'm just going to ask each one randomly to answer one of their questions, and then we'll go on from there. We've asked them to keep, their answers around 3 to 4 minutes. And then, as we said, you can put the word question in the chat, and after everyone has answered the questions we've given them, we'll open it up to Q&A. So I'm just going to see who I see first, which is Stavros. So your introduction with your favorite experience.
Hello, everyone. I think most everyone knows me here, but I'm Stavros Adamides, running for the board for the first time. I've been running from the board for years, but I thought, let me give it a whirl. My favorite Elmwood memory, obviously, there are way too many to list, but if I had to pick one that pops prominently in my mind, excuse me, that would be during She Loves Me, which was directed by the great late Larry Gabbard. We had a Secret Santa party after one of the performances, and I don't know. I just that whole show obviously was about love, and everyone got along so well, and just the gift giving, and for me, that was just the ultimate, the pinnacle of the feeling that I get at Elmwood. That we're all a family, and we're all, and we do the shows, but it's also about what's beyond the shows. You know what I mean? It's about who you do the shows with. You know what I mean? We come back to Elmwood for a reason because of the people, I think. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'll keep it short. That's my all-time favorite experience because it encompasses pretty much the entire experience.
Thank you. Next, I see Ellen Blakely down there as masquerading as Evelyn Russo.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Ellen Blakely. And I guess for Elmwood, about my favorite thing being involved in, I'm having a really hard time figuring that out. I started about a year ago. My husband had gone out for the Young Frankenstein role and got it. So I was wound up being pulled in by them, and I haven't really regretted it ever since. I started out going to plays. I saw a couple of plays, enjoyed all of them. I've gone to a few of the workshop presentations. I've enjoyed all of them as well. Then when it came to Young Frankenstein, I started out just kind of sitting around, hoping someone would, can I help you with anything? Anybody need help? And, I kind of sat there for a few days or whatever. And then I started helping Janet in wardrobe before the show started, helping her sew some things. And then Evelyn took me on and got me in the backstage crew. That experience was both terrifying and fun at the same time. The terrifying part was I thought I'd really mess up bad. I had my little issues, but I got over them. And then the fun part was the people. I had a really good time on that show. I enjoyed pretty much every minute of it from start to end. The after party was fantastic. The I guess kickoff party was a lot of fun too, meeting everyone. And then after that was over, I helped with the yard sale. And everybody loves a good yard sale, and that was a lot of fun too. I worked on that with Margaret. I remember that. And then after that, I did the Halloween parade with the fly-through video as well. I played the Bride of Frankenstein because our Christine was very pregnant at the time, and we didn't want her to be in the parade. And then currently I'm working on Addams Family in partnership with Music for Life, and that's out in June, and I'm loving that. So like I said, it's kind of hard to choose one thing, but overall, I think my best experiences happen to be with the people. I feel a very great sense of community, and I feel like I've met some wonderful, fantastic people and actually made some very, very good friends from it. So what I find about Elmwood is that it really sets out some very good energy for everybody. And I'd really like to see that continue. And if I could be part of it in any way possible, that would be fantastic. So I think being with the people and the community and that type of feeling is my favorite experience.
That's great. Thanks so much. Next, I see Elaine leaning there in the studio, I think. Wait,
Yeah,
going back
I'm helping.
to rehearsal too.
Yeah, they're running right along. Show was going to be great. Jane went back, so I'm going to apologize, but I'm going to talk fast. I really had to think about two favorite experiences, but when I explain it, I hope it's a fair answer. My first favorite experience was as an audience member in 2013, which is now 12 years ago. I sat in the middle seat, back row J, and if you know it, it's the best unobstructed view of any show. And it was Les Mis, Elmwood's production. I've seen 7 professional productions of Les Mis, and I continue to brag to everyone that that's the best community theater production that I've ever seen. And it's aspirational. I mean, from the set by Rob Ward coming right up to meet me. I remember Lisa Spielman was Fontaine. Tiffany was Madame Thénardier. I think Larry Beckerly. I remember Carolyn Whitford with the broom. I mean, the word spellbound came to mind, and it just it left such a lasting expression of what wonderful talent, cast and crew there was. And then it inspired me to become in 2014, part of it was a series of one acts, Inspector Hound and Black Coffee. 16 actors on stage between the two one acts, and 15 great crew people. And one of the most fun experiences because of all the people that were involved, and the feeling of camaraderie, coming together to entertain an audience. I made friends very much with Earl Ziff, who we all miss. We make friends. We share our joy in theater, our willingness to connect with our community and the audience. And, I've worked now, I live closer now, but I've worked when I lived in Central Jersey with 12 or 13 other theaters, and there's not anything like Elmwood. So I'm hoping to be considered for a board position. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Next I see Kathleen. Yep, you unmuted? Are you frozen? No.
Okay.
There we go.
No, I'm not frozen.
No.
Hi, everybody. My favorite, I really had to think about this because there are just so many wonderful things that happen when you're doing a show, when you're backstage and whatever it is. But I really have to go back to my first experience with Elmwood. And I don't remember the year. I know Steve is on, but it was the year that that we did Ragtime. And Steve auditioned for it, and he got the part, and he would talk a little bit about rehearsals and things like that. And I didn't, I was excited. I didn't really, I wasn't involved in any way, so I didn't really know what to expect. And, but, came to see the show, I guess, opening night, and walked into the theater and looked at the stage, and I went, no, it's not possible. No, they can't do Ragtime here. This is going to be, it's just not possible. And sat down and watched an extraordinary show. I still don't know. I still can't even tell you how that enormous show was mounted in that tiny space. And I saw there was a car on stage, and I thought, this is extraordinary. I don't understand how this is possible. And since then, I've seen all kinds of extraordinary things on the stage. Elaine just mentioned Les Mis. It was huge, and it was done so well. Not just the musicals, all kinds of things. POTUS. This set was unbelievable. And I'm not even talking about actors. I'm not even talking about that talent. But I always go back to that first experience. As I said, I have lots of favorite experiences, but that one was the one that really, really kind of knocked my socks off, just because my first impression was, oh, it's not possible here. And in the coming years, I've been able to see exactly what is possible, and I don't know, anything's possible. That's it.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Dylan.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Dylan Coonrad. I've been involved with Elmwood for almost 3 years now. I moved to Valley Cottage with my husband after many years in the city, and I stumbled upon Elmwood pretty soon after we moved. And I after college, I really didn't think theater wouldn't be a part of my life anymore. I thought, that was it. It was fun while it lasted. I loved doing it, but I never thought it would be a thing that ever would appear again in my life. And I was so surprised to find it I've been surprised by it every step of the way. Omar, in his good graces, cast me as a 35-year-old into a 20-year-old role, and that was a feat. But one of my favorite Elmwood experiences was during that run. Before one of the shows, I got a postcard sent to my attention to the theater. And it was from handwritten type. I recognized the handwriting immediately. It was from my middle school Spanish teacher who recognized my name in one of the publications that she read. And she and I had a special relationship. I adored her. She was one of my most influential teachers in my life. And she wrote to me because she couldn't see the show. She knew of the show. She saw it somewhere, I think in Ramapo College or something a few years prior. Her husband and her were great patrons of the arts, and she couldn't see the show because she was having some health issues. But I was able to be a pen pal with her. We wrote back and forth maybe twice after that moment, and she died a few weeks after that. And so I was really surprised that Elmwood gave me this outlet for theater, and I was surprised they were able to give me those last few moments with a really special teacher.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Okay. The three questions that we sent around to all five candidates, and we asked them to choose two to answer. The first one is, being on the Elmwood board has opportunities for leadership in many areas. In what area of the Playhouse do you think you would best showcase your leadership abilities? The second question, the board relies on Elmwood volunteers and members to join or even create committees to handle things such as show duties like hospitality, choose seasons, work on shows, or organize events. Describe how you could encourage or even reward volunteers to keep them serving on committees and increase participation. The third question, what programs or events would you like to see to raise money for the Playhouse? Why do you think this program or event would be a good fit for Elmwood, and would you be willing to implement it? So I think I'm just going to go backwards. So Dylan, choose one of those questions that you answered. And then what I would like to do is, if any of the other candidates also chose that question, just raise their hand, and so we'll all have answers to that question first. That makes sense?
Of course, I'll answer the question about leadership first. I am my day job, I guess you could say, I'm a creative director at a large architecture and design firm. And my team I lead is graphic designers mostly. And I got this job maybe 6.5, 7 years ago at this point. And when I first got it, I had no leadership experience, or I guess not leading a corporate team or whatever. So I read a couple books about leadership, and I immediately thought it was all BS. It just is leadership is so different. It's not about me as a leader, it's about the people who are in your charge. And I've learned over the years that there is a perception that leaders should have all the right answers. And I don't think it's true. Leaders need to know which questions to ask. And I believe that to be true. I'm not a leader or anyone in any of my roles to tell people what to do, or even worse, for my team in particular, to feel like they have to design for me. I have to separate concept and style in creative fields. I'm here to make sure the concept is sound, to make sure the designer is on the right track, asking the right questions. And if they style it somehow differently, I don't care. I don't want them to style it for me, but I want to help shape something and have the people who are responsible for it then make it their own. I love being in the creative industry. I think it's always surprising how creativity can lend itself into so many different formats. Leadership being one of them. I throw out any book or anything anyone tells me about like MBA leadership. I am so much more interested in the emotional intelligence versus the IQ. And I think that I love finding new ways creativity can be a real asset in life and community and in leadership.
Thank you. Did anyone else choose the leadership question to answer? Ellen, I see Ellen. Sorry, saw her first. Go ahead, unmute.
Hi. Okay, so like Dylan, my background as well is architecture. I've been in that field for nearly 30 years now. I have been in every level of management that you could think of, from, I started out as a CAD operator, just drawing things and doing surveys, and I'm still doing all that. But I worked my way up from assistant management, project manager, and all the way to studio director. And then, 2020 hit with the wonderful pandemic, and within a year, my company dissolved me, and as well as almost 200 other people. At that time, I opted to open my own company. This will now be going on my 4th year with that. And I still do the same type of things. I manage projects, take them from, starting as just a concept or a design, and then bringing that to life for somebody. And with that, I think knowing how to run projects, getting things done, and making sure that nothing's been skipped on it. I think my best showcase for my abilities is with the community and outreach. I working on the parade and the yard sales, they felt really good. I felt almost at home there. It was, seeing the community enjoying watching the parade and just coming to the yard sale and communicating with them and getting to know them was fantastic. I have tons of ideas for additional events, as well as adding things to the events that you guys already do have in place. So I think I do very well in that. Part of what I do for my job is to help my clients with their branding and getting their name out there for their stores and products. I do mainly retail, but I've done entertainment, homes. I've done a few homes, but mostly retail. But the ideas that I have for Elmwood would also include additional marketing opportunities, as well as opportunities for actors, production staff, and crew to showcase their talents and get experience and share another fun event with the community. I've run fundraising events for different organizations such as Autism Speaks and Pediatric Stroke. And that went from bake sales to fashion shows, hosting fashion shows and bake shows, and whatever money we could raise for them, we did. So I'm pretty much used to a very fast-paced environment, getting things done quickly. And to me, the theater life is very similar to my daytime job. You have this amount of time to get something done. You got to get it done within there. And you guys obviously do, and you do a fantastic job with it. And I think it would be a great part. I think that would suit me very well.
Thank you. Great. And I saw Kathleen. Elaine, did you choose that question as well? Okay. Elaine, why don't we get to you, because I know you have rehearsal stuff.
Sorry, taking myself off mute. Yeah, I answered that one as well. And what I find fascinating is that we come together as a team Elmwood, and even in those individuals that we think we know, we find some secret talent or something that we don't even know about. So I think there's a wealth of skills or things we don't know about people that, when asked to be part of a team, as Dylan mentioned, we all are unique, and the synergy of everyone, resonating well. So I thought maybe I've had many careers, and probably many people don't know. One of the reasons I'm working on the show is that in getting to know Janet during Young Frankenstein, I was talking to her about my grandmother, and my mother taught me to sew, and it's something that I enjoy doing. And I don't know if I go around telling everyone I sew. So, I'm sure there's other talent. So I worked for many years as a director of communication for a marketing and advertising firm, and I worked on the legal team, but a big part of what I did was event planning. And in my time here, I've helped a number of times for galas, life membership events. It really is a love of mine. I'm type A. I like to be detail oriented. I like working as a group. And one of my special moments was last year with the marketing team is that we kind of spearheaded a blood drive with the Red Cross to tie along with the creative Dracula production. So it was like a win-win for me, having everyone come together, having people donate blood to help the community, and advertising our wonderful show. Um, I've been a teacher, ballet for over 11 years, but also I taught elementary school. And while I was there, I directed middle school musicals. So a big part of what I love to do is to nurture the youth to enjoy art, appreciate theater, and just trying, this wonderful theater, we want it to perpetuate much longer than us. So to build something that's already great and just augment that. And also the new director program is wonderful because we know, like, I had the luxury of being on Jason Summers' Young Frankenstein. A new director brings new people, a new audience, new friends. I was a credit analyst for Nippon Credit Bank, so I have a financial side and I can do any Excel file that you want. Many times I've been a manager. I've hired and trained, very detail oriented. And then over the years, as I mentioned, I've worked with 12 or 13 different theaters. Now I mostly work with Elmwood and sometimes Bergen County Players. I've worked on selection committees, costuming on the stage, of course, and I love the idea of proactively using some of my knowledge to bring together best practices, but to talk to the board members that are some of the most dedicated people I've ever observed, to work as a team to continue to uphold the standards that this theater has held in the past. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you. And Kathleen.
Hi. I chose this to answer this question. First of all, for the new people who are here, you can see how extraordinary this organization is. You can see there's so much going on, all kinds of opportunities. I feel a strength of mine would be with community engagement. And I know Megan does a fabulous job and publicity is terrific. And just listening to all of the new things that are going on is really energizing. I would like to be a part of that. I have worked also in fundraising and worked with nonprofits, and I would like to see us continue to partner with other organizations. I like to explore some of the other arts organizations in Nyack and in Rockland, and some of the others. I mean, we have a great relationship with Prohibition River, the restaurant. We have, when we're continuing to do that. So I would like to do that. I think I have a lot to offer in that. And the other section, of course, would be the creative, because as a director, I understand the challenges of mounting a main stage show here. I've also worked backstage. I'm also directing the one act that Steve Burmack mentioned, where we need, where it is a monologue and we need a trans actress. So I'd just like to throw that out there, please. If you know anyone, I'd love to meet them. I worked again on the director qualification committee for Paul Russo's workshop. So and professionally, I'm a director. I direct children. I'm co-directing The Play That Goes Wrong at Westchester Sandbox Theater. And I work as a theater arts director in the Pelham School District with one of the elementary schools in their cultural arts program. So I'm connected with the theater all the time. I would like to see us continue with the play selection and continue with experimenting with a really broad season. I think it would be important, and I'd like to see Elmwood work on finding more designers. And we're recruiting directors, and that's fabulous. I would love to recruit some more designers. I would like to find lighting and costume and set designers who would call Elmwood their home, who would say, yes, I'm on this, I work at Elmwood, and I'm part of that. I would love to see that happen. I think that might be it for me.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Stavros, which of the two questions would you like to present that you chose?
Oh, I didn't raise my hand. I put it in the chat, but I want to take this question as well.
Oh, wow. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess leadership is important. A few things I want to say kind of regarding this topic. One of my philosophies in life is, I heard this, I don't remember where I heard it, but I think it's 100% true. It's a problem well defined is a problem half solved. So, and I'm very big on like efficiency and problem solving, and trying to get a fully rounded idea of whatever issue it is we need to tackle. I find in life too many times people are going off into too many tangents, and I really try to laser focus on what it is that needs to be solved, and then figuring out all the steps to implement that. That's very important to me. An area that I would like to definitely focus on is membership and community engagement, but more specifically, I want to, like, one idea that I had with regard to the audience, I would love something as simple as sending an email to the audience after the show, right? Thank you for coming to see the Nance. If you'd like to give us, a few words, rate the show, whatever. Maybe, in the email, put a picture of the cast and crew, thank you for coming, whatever it is, just to personalize that a little bit more. Like, we already got your money, you saw the show, but again, it's just a simple thank you for coming. Please come see the next thing. You know what I mean? It's a simple email. I feel like it would go a long way. But membership is another thing, because there seems to be something that I'm hearing from a lot of people with how do we get people back, right? Like at the last meeting, we're talking about, why aren't people coming back to the party, to throw it for the next cast? It's a little heartbreaking when people, don't want to pay it forward or pay it back. You know what I mean? Someone did it for you. You should be willing and, eager to do it for someone else, so it's hard to police that, for lack of a better term. But yeah, in general, I want that feeling. I want the audience to feel connected. I don't want people to just come see the show because they know somebody in the show and then we never see him again. You know what I mean? I want to just try to keep that cash flow as well coming. You know what I mean? Get people willing and able to come back willingly, because I want people to feel like they're important. As soon as they walk in the door. That's why I like doing hospitality. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as just giving a playbill. It's about making them feel good. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming. You know what I mean? Hey, what a lovely scarf you have on this evening. Oh, thank you. Whatever. Just make people feel good. I feel good working at Elmwood. I want people to feel good coming to Elmwood to experience what we have to offer. Yeah, I guess that's all I'll say about that.
That's great. Thank you. So let me go around back to Ellen. And which of the other questions did you choose?
The other one I chose was the volunteering, and how the board relies on volunteers and members to join. When it comes to volunteering, I mean, obviously, I started at Elmwood volunteering. Everybody volunteers to some point, but volunteering really does come from the heart, and you really want to be there. So once you are lucky enough to find someone that is dedicated, genuinely dedicated to it, you got to grab onto them. And so one of the things I think is very important is, first and foremost, an in-person thank you. Not just thanks for helping out today. No, you know what? Be a little bit more specific. Thank you for doing X, X, and X. We really appreciate, we needed your help. Everything you've done was fantastic. Whatever, something nice and something specific for people, because that's when they realize that you've actually noticed that they've made a difference in what's going on. They actually were able to help out, to participate, to be a part of it. When we did Young Frankenstein, at the end of it, at that wonderful closing night cast party, which I thought was fantastic, I got a handwritten note. And I didn't think I helped. I did what everybody else was doing, but I never expected to get an actual handwritten note thanking me for the things that I did. And it was on a rose, and I know everyone got one, but I know how personal mine was. So it makes me believe that they took the time to get personal with everybody. So those notes were from Mimi and Steve, and they meant a lot. The cast got it, the crew got it, and best of my knowledge, everybody that worked on it got something. And I thought that was really great. So as I heard from a few other people just tonight alone, that end of cast party is really special. I found it special. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what was going on, what happens at Elmwood. And then they told us about it, how the people before throw the one for and we'd never seen that before anywhere. And I thought that was really special. And everyone was invited. Didn't matter what you did, but everyone was invited. And yes, you brought something if you could, and if you couldn't, that's okay too. But it worked out well, happened to work out well for ours. Other ways to show people for volunteers that you care and that you'd love to have them back. Honestly, branded merchandise. Everybody loves swag. Every once in a while, give them a t-shirt, an Elmwood t-shirt, or I don't know. One of my suggestions is going to be to maybe expand the type of merchandise that you do have instead of just t-shirts. Have things that are available for purchase right there. Keychains, totes, socks with the Elmwood logo on it. It's fantastic. You could ask pretty much anybody. I wear Halloween socks all year long because they're fun. I just like a fun thing, and I would buy an Elmwood sock. Things like that to give away and sell on site. Maybe another thing would be 2 tickets to a future Elmwood event, but it could be done, you're not giving it to everybody, but you do a lottery. Here we did a show, the Nance. Let's just say we've done the Nance. Everybody who was involved, every volunteer in that, give away, do a lottery, put their names in it, and then they can come to a future show. Maybe highlight some of the volunteers on your social media pages. Do an interview with them. Here's an actor, here's a lighting representative, here's someone that constructs our sets, and maybe start a podcast with that. Nice little interview, and let them showcase their talents on the Elmwood website, where people look and will see, okay, I can see so-and-so does this. Maybe I could use them for my production at some point. We'll get to know them a little bit better that way. And then they're able to also talk about the other talents that they do have. Because like Elaine was saying, there's so many hidden talents from everybody. And that was one of my thoughts too. I didn't know Elaine sewed. Yeah, what do I know? She does. But you never know what somebody can do. There's people that paint, there's people that craft. And those small talents can turn into something big.
Great. Thanks, Ellen. We're getting to like 5 minutes.
You got it.
Thank you. Did anyone else answer the volunteers and members question? Okay. Oh, Elaine, go ahead.
I often say that, we get paid for our jobs, but to volunteer is something even bigger. I mean, people come to this without picking up a paycheck. And I think we should treasure that even more because people are very busy with their families and their lives and the dedication that it takes. So, going along with the recognition factor and truly enjoying and appreciating what people bring to the table, the thank yous, the cards, the listening, valuing the input that other people have to say. The closing night parties, I have to say, I have favorite things of Elmwood, and my first impression, it's my absolute favorite thing that we do. Um, it's there's nothing better than having the previous cast come to you, um, and throw the party and get to know you and the energy that it feels. I was asked recently to kind of help with that because sometimes a cast has 4 people, and other times with Young Frankenstein you have over 20. One of the things, the Young Frankenstein, there were a lot of new people, and there was a lot to do for the producers, and so a little bit communicating to the new actors, letting them know of the great things. Sometimes people just don't know the things that we do. Coordinating with people, dates, communication, letting them know what time they have to show up. And some of the ideas I had for that is, just being someone available to assist when there's only a few people in the cast. Maybe we have, a bin of plates and tablecloths, from the dollar store, but that's just a resource that anyone can draw from. And being available to help, inviting new members to those things. We have wonderful lifetime member meetings, galas. Um, you know, Maybe have new membership activities where we meet at a local a restaurant. Say, hey, we're there. Anyone from the theater can come, so we don't wait 2 years or to the next show to celebrate one another. I volunteered at the street fair for this past month, and what a great opportunity to meet the community. And I just thought of how much fun it was. I was signed up for 1 hour and I stayed for the entire afternoon, interacting with our community. Um, some people from California just moved, introducing them to the theater. I could think of so many other people. We have a great core people, but have other people participate in that. But just recognizing, and maybe I like the idea, some other theaters I've been at offer a free ticket to a show. Sometimes it's a free ticket to a show that is not sold out yet. So it's a win-win, but really recognizing that the volunteers that we have, the time that they give us is precious, and we should acknowledge them, what they have to say, um, and value them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, gonna round to Dylan. So the last question about raising money, was that one that you had?
No, but
Okay. Answer the question you want.
this is the same one around
Good.
volunteering. I'm always fascinated about what motivates people. And turns out it's a combination of autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And we can't always give those 3 things to everyone that volunteers at Elmwood, but I think purpose is something we can really learn from. This is going to sound weird, but bear with me. I was the president of my college fraternity my last year at school, and back then I never knew I would bring it up this often later in life, but I learned so much by leading 45 alcoholics. I can do anything now. That was the hardest thing of my life, I'm sure. We had a system to get volunteers because guys in college don't want to volunteer for anything. And it was a point-based system that at the end of the year gave us a standing list, and that list gave you prioritization. In this case, it was for room picks for the next year. If you earned a certain number of what was called house points, you got into that standing list, and then the higher you were, the better room you could choose for yourself in the next year and your roommate. And I'm saying that because if Elmwood could tie different volunteering efforts to different metrics, that would then unlock this system that we could reward. We can't be giving around favors all the time, right? It's not, I don't think people really are seeking an equal reciprocal value for their volunteerism, but anything would help. You know, what if the certain tiers of points after a season gets you $10 off a yearly subscription? Or some unlocking of the Evelyn, the swag that Evelyn's mentioning. Small gestures that accumulate over time and being rewarded for a thing in the moment with an abstract system that we make up is something that could really benefit our favor.
Thank you. Kathleen, did you do that question or
I did
another
not.
question?
No, I did the third question.
Okay. And Stavros, did you happen to answer the volunteer question or the finance or the fundraising question?
I guess the fundraising question, yeah.
Okay. Then Kathleen, can I call you first for that
Sure.
one? Thanks.
Sure. It's, you know, I think it's extraordinary, all of these things that we've talked about tonight. The speakeasy as a fundraiser sounds absolutely terrific. I love that it's creative and it's new and it's different and we haven't done it before. And I think it's a fabulous idea. I think we need to really continue a robust fundraising effort. You know, all the nonprofits, all arts organizations at this point are scrambling to figure out what to do when their government funding runs out, when nothing is there anymore. And you know, we don't depend on that, but you know, it is a reality. I'd like to see larger events. We did really well with the gala, and I understand we've kind of put that aside now. I think we can revisit that, maybe not every year, but every other year. It is a lot of work and it costs a lot of money, but it also raises a lot of money. They were all very, very successful. I work on an annual fundraising event, a coffee house for an organization called the Rural and Migrant Ministries, which is a nonprofit that serves migrant workers and their families in New York State. And every year we have a coffee house to raise money. One of the programs that they focus on, that this organization focuses on, is arts education, which the children of the migrant workers in New York are really not going to get without some assistance. So every year we get together, we do a coffee house, and you know, people bring a guitar and they sing, they sign up, and I host it. But I also serve on the planning committee. And this is a really small thing. This is in a church basement, and we're serving coffee and, you know, brownies and cookies. And every year they raise $4,000 for this 2 hours. I don't actually have the figure. We just did it in March. I don't have this year's figure for what we raised, but far more than we have any right to. I think Elmwood could do something like this, not a coffee house. I think we could do not an open mic night, but something in conjunction with one of the restaurants, with Prohibition River. We could do the same thing. It's much cheaper to do. And have people come in, you know, a suggested donation or a ticket, have something like that, and have people sign up and perform. And you can invite your friends and you can perform, and it would be more organized, I think, than this coffee house that I work with, because that's, you know, that's pretty casual. But you know, offer 2 free drinks for your ticket price and then a cash bar. And I think we can do that. It would not cost nearly as much as a gala. And I think, you know, throw things out like that. As I said, the speakeasy sounds fabulous. The events themselves, I think, yeah, they raise money. And money's great, but it also creates goodwill among the community. And it also energizes people. It energizes them to get involved. Energizes them to donate more. It energizes them to be more interested in what the theater's actually doing, which is putting on shows. That's it.
Thank you. And Stavros, rounding it out.
Oh boy. Uh, great
No
ideas.
pressure.
I agree a lot with what Kathleen was mentioning there. Speakeasy does sound great. Um, there are a few ideas I had. For a long time, and I love that Elmwood is being more creative with how it spends its time. I mean, the Sundays at 7 thing was always a great thing because uh, I really like it when theaters find ways to utilize the space around the main stage productions. And I think maybe we can look into doing more with that. Um, I would also suggest maybe I know it's difficult for musicals, but like maybe adding Saturday matinees or maybe just one per run, because I know a lot of other theaters do a Saturday matinee and they do quite well. Um, Basically, I want to steal from all the other theaters. Um, and I know Antrim has had some success. I want to do like maybe a comedy night. We do know a few comedians. I know Antrim, again, I'm just going to steal from everybody. They had like a musician come in. Um, Something that I just thought of as Kathleen was mentioning, the coffee house. I know some groups, it would be maybe kind of cost effective to come up with a traveling show and not far and wide, but like just within the community, right? Maybe a show that could be done at a local restaurant, like on a slow night. You know what I mean? To try to drum up their business. I know people do drunken Shakespeare. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare, but um, in general, I just like the idea of generating profits for low cost, where we don't, when the theater's dark, or we can just take it outside. I don't know. Are we allowed? I mean, do we do like a traveling elbow at the local libraries? Do we try to get in on that action? You know what I mean? Um, I don't know, because they pay those people to perform. It's just things like that to think about. And then, they're not like gala level fundraising events, but it could be a nice kind of solid chunk of money if we can do it for the right amount. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, steal from other people, their ideas, and try to do things at low cost and high reward.
Sounds good. Thanks. So, Derek and Lisa, I don't see any questions in the chat. Have you
Nope.
Yeah,
nothing?
no.
Well, does last chance of typing in a question, or just type in question if you have one. Otherwise, I'll ask the candidates if they have anything else that they'd like to share, and we'll take it from there. Anybody questions?
Nick just said that he may have one, so
He may have one.
okay.
Okay.
I just have to formulate it. Please give me a moment.
Okay. But thanks, everybody. This is really great.
Like brief closing statements while we wait for question.
I
It's been a long
apologize.
night. I
I'm
think
a
people
little,
are
I'm
sort
a
of
little low
tired.
charge, so I hope I don't
Yeah.
disconnect anyone. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I came straight from here from work, so
So-
I didn't get to charge up a little bit.
So Nick, can we do a round of closing statements while you think of your question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Elaine, go ahead, since you're
Yeah,
losing
charge.
charge.
Yeah, there's a statistic I got, and it's just in a general way, and I think the ideas that come forward, it's always interesting when minds come together, but I think it's more of a membership number, and I just compared, it's like a membership sign up, and I know times have changed, but there was 198 signups in 2015, and then in terms of signups in 2024, it was 76. Now, our circumstances have changed, in terms of, now we have not required to be a member to participate in our shows as many theaters do. But I think everything that we do to encourage our new actors, new members, to want to be part of the membership, the voting membership, because that's really the synergy of creating, an even better future for us as a theater. And I think I think many of us have said the same thing. More members, more talent. I mean, even the fact that I know we have benefits. If we look to who we work for, can we look to our organizations for finding if they want to do benefits? Because those that have already done already know. So there's a lot of things that already are great, and I think just looking just a little bit further, and with the energies, I mean, it's exciting to have so many people coming forward and wanting to participate with a great dedicated team that has already done the work, and then bringing best practices of what we've enjoyed elsewhere. So I just look forward to that opportunity.
Thank you. Ellen, some closing words?
Gotta unmute, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to kind of reiterate how much this has really been a joy for me this past year. I think once you're able to find those volunteers and grab onto them, hold on to them, do what we can to, I mean, everybody's a volunteer there, whether it's an actor, people don't realize that the actors are volunteers too. So anybody that walks through that door, I'm very thankful for, because they're continuing the Elmwood name. And I'm just hoping to be able to do that. It's 80 years now. I'd like to be around for another 80 and help you guys for as long as I can there.
Thank you. Dylan, closing remarks?
Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for welcoming me into this community. I've been so impressed. Since the time I've started, I joined on the stage production of The Shape of Things, but ever since I've been part of the marketing committee, helping Omar and Megan design some of the yearly show posters and artwork around them. And a couple months ago, I was talking with Steve Taylor at the theater, and we were talking about how the one thing I learned during the pandemic was the importance of hobbies. I forgot about hobbies for a while, and it turns out we spend too much time at work, not enough time at home, and we're still missing something in the mixture of those things. And Steve was able to articulate it, and it's the need for a third place in life. That third place to find yourself and to speak towards it and to put your energy around it. And it's something other than work and home. And I've really been surprised how Elmwood has found a place or has been my third place without even knowing it. So thank you all. And we'll talk soon.
Thanks. Thank you. Stavros, closing remarks?
Yes, hi. I just want to mention why it is I'm running for the board at this time. I actually just really want to learn about how the place operates. And the fact of the matter is, I don't even know where it is I'm going to be needed, but I'm looking forward, if I'm voted in, to figuring that out. Letting the theater tell me, show me where it is my talents can be used. I've been acting at Elmwood for 16 years now. And I'd really love to give back in a different way. I mean, I usually think of acting as community service at these theaters. It is. I feel it's essential to the lifeblood of our community. But yeah, I just, if I get elected to a 3-year term, I figure like a year to just kind of like get the lay of the land. You know what I mean? See what's going on. Throw an opinion here and there, but obviously defer to everyone who's done it before me. And then maybe gradually start to, take on more significant roles. But yeah, I'm just eager to learn and give back to the place that I love. Thank you.
Thanks. And Kathleen.
I would like to be a part of this. I would love to see this theater continue. I have every belief that this theater will continue to grow and to thrive. It is so exciting to see everything that's happening now and everything that's happened over the years. I think it's just what we do is so important. And I know it's important, it's a terrible word, but it's an important contribution we make to the community. It's an important contribution that we make to each other when we work together on something. I think it's extraordinary, and I would like to continue to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Nick, gonna throw a question?
He actually wrote it in the chat.
Oh, I see. I'm
so
not seeing it. Go
okay.
ahead.
Where do you envision Elmwood in the next 5 years, and how do you see the board facilitating?
Good one. Wow. Okay. Let's go back around. Kathleen.
The board has complete oversight on the theater. The board has a fiduciary responsibility to the theater. And the board, again, makes all the major decisions, hopefully with the input from the membership. I think that's the path that the board takes. Okay, they continue to help the directors and the designers and everyone involved to put on the great shows, to attract the audiences, to make sure the audience is there to see everything that we do. So I think that's what the board will do. The board has to guide all of the creative aspects of what happens at the theater.
Thank you. Stavros. And do you need to hear the question again?
No, I think I got it. What do I see Elmwood in the next 5 years, and how will the board facilitate it?
Yeah.
What a question. Well, I think how we respond to the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years will be critical. I think as a community theater, we have a choice now to respond to certain things in certain ways. And the board, I think, are going to be faced with some brave decisions about the kind of plays they want our community to see. Whether or not the community wants to see it, and again, there's a balance, right? There's always a balance. You can't, be avant-garde for a whole season, but hopefully Elmwood will continue to be at the forefront of progress in our community. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Dylan.
I mentioned my day job. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and my love language is branding. That's my world. That's my language. I love it so much. And the first rule about branding is you can't assume you know more about someone's brand than they do. And my goal in joining the board is to understand more. It's kind of like Stavros. I need to learn. I'm always curious about what goes into it, what's been done, what's the history, where's the direction, because that's how you learn about something. And the more you understand it, the more you feel connected to it. My goal in the next 5 years is to help understand some of these nuances of Elmwood Playhouse, more than the few interactions I've had so far, and turn it into stuff and marketing and materials and concepts and more or less a brand identity that brings Elmwood into the future. That's how my graphic skills can come into play, and that's what I want to do.
Thanks. Elaine.
Okay, thank you. If I go out, you'll know why. You know what? I think 5 years, it seems like a long time, but it isn't. You know, we've come back from the pandemic. I mean, one of the worst times, but we're not going to be what we were. I work in the retail industry. Another industry is not going to be the same, but we're going into the future much smarter, having learned from the experiences of the past. Part of the best thing to do is put together a team with the will and the skills to build upon what's already been made. I think the things that we do, but do it to the next level. Like, you know, I like doing 50-50. I talk to the audiences. They tell me, you know, what they want to see, put me on the newsletter, the street fairs, new people moving in, outreach to the community, you know, small events, large events, and building a larger number of membership, actors, crew, everything that's been said tonight. You feel the energy. We already know that everything that exists here, but we can just broaden it, broaden our reach, broaden our spectrum. And I think everyone wants to, I think they've finished their run upstairs, but just really excited for the future. And like, I think a lot of us bring together a lot of skills and, you know, having experiences at other theaters. And, but this is a place we want to be and where we want to spend most of our time. And it's our best hobby, as Dylan said, our third place. It takes a lot of time, but we do it with love. Thank you.
Thanks. And Ellen.
I guess kind of going last on this, everybody kind of took everything I was about to say, but agreeing with pretty much everything everybody has said. I can't tell you where Elm would be in 5 years from now, because I've just started a year ago. So I don't know where you were 5 years ago. But what I would like to see is, I would like to see obviously grow with the times. I live in Orange County. I don't hear about you guys there. Maybe spreading the word in some social medias that are outside the realm of just, you know, your own county. We don't get to hear a lot about that, but I think maybe getting that word out a little bit more in the surrounding areas can help Elmwood grow, bring in money for bigger shows, bigger events. And as someone, I'm sorry, I don't remember who said, maybe something traveling, you know, maybe doing some shows, a seasonal show. I know you guys don't really do that. I think you've tried it in the past, but maybe doing something, you know, along the lines of a traveling show at Christmas time, a Christmas Carol or something like that. But to see something grow outside of just the theater itself and bringing it to the other communities or in the surrounding areas, I think is something that would really help you guys grow a little bit more. I think it's wonderful as it is, but again, getting more word out there, I think over the next few years would help bring in a little bit more. Help you guys grow.
Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. Such amazing ideas and visions. I really am very gratified that this slate of people are coming forward. And so the next step is up to you guys, the members, when you get your ballots from Evelyn. We will also, I believe at the June meeting, have a period of voting for people who didn't get a ballot. I think we do that. No, it's all online. Okay. Never mind. So we'll be counting those up and announcing.
Now, I believe the
June.
deadline is like 8 o'clock the night
Right.
of the meeting.
Yes,
So
yes, you can
if
log on
You have to
till
submit
8 o'clock.
before that. Yep.
Okay. All right, great. And again, if you know anybody who didn't make it, who would like to hear the Meet the Candidates event, it is recorded. But thank you, everyone, so very much. This has really been great. And thanks to the committee, all of us who helped on it, Steve and Melinda and Nancy.
Derek,
So,
I would like
thank you.
to, Derek, I'd like to take a minute just to thank Margaret, who really was the driving force behind this. She did a phenomenal job.
Yay, Margaret.
This was her. Melinda, Nancy, and I chimed in, but this was all Margaret. So
No,
great job.
I just had healing time, so I had time on my hands.
Well, great job.
Yes, great
No,
job,
every
everyone. We were all kind of concerned about how this would go online, but I think it really went well. So thanks for the committee to make it happen, and thanks for everyone who's come out, and
Yay.
all the candidates. And we'll see you all in June 2nd.